And I have to begin by saying 250 million Americans are not garbage.
Donald Trump wasn't the only one making questionable statements tonight. Listen to Secretary Clinton at a fundraiser here in New York.
Be grossly generalistic. You could put half of Trump's supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables.
They were really saying, your agenda has no support, and yet you're ramming it down our throats, and you won't listen to us. And you make fun of us. You call us garbage, deplorables, irredeemables, clingers, chumps, dregs. These are all pejoratives that Biden and Obama and the Clintons have used.
The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization is seen as unconscionable.
And you forced us to do this, but we have now a champion, and he's going to cut through all of this.
You like my garbage truck? This truck is in honor of Kamala and Joe Biden.
And remind you that we run the country and not Hollywood or the institutions or academia in Silicon Valley. And so they were in a complete bubble about what this earthquake was about to hit them, or this storm.
Democrats voted against Donald Trump.
Always comes to my mind Bobby's statement, so powerful.
In Chicago, a string of Democratic speakers mentioned Donald Trump 147 times just on the first day. Who needs a policy when you have Trump to hate?
Trump's straightforward, unfiltered approach, often seen as crude or harsh, actually resonated with many in Middle America, who felt that Washington's political elites had disregarded their concerns on key issues like inflation, job security, border control, and crime. Trump's appeal is portrayed here not only as a populist revolt, but as an affirmation of a democracy where everyday Americans assert their right to be heard, despite opposition from media, Hollywood, and academic circles. The so-called deplorables, who felt dismissed or mocked by establishment figures, saw in Trump a blunt instrument to disrupt an out-of-touch agenda. They were less concerned about decorum and more interested in a leader willing to defy political conventions.
Everybody could see it. I think some of them saw it, but the media felt in the last 72 hours, maybe, or 4 days, if they rigged a poll in Iowa, or they said that it was dead even, or that the Senate was going to be held by the Democrats, that would either get people to the polls, or it would raise money or create momentum. But the registrations were an all-time high. For Republicans, they had gained 600,000 registrations since the last time they contested Pennsylvania in 2020. They had been completely dumbfounded in 2020 on non-election day balloting, and yet they had more people non-election day ballot. They mastered the art of early and mail-in balloting than the Democrats did. They got almost 25% of black males that really, and then that wasn't really the key statistic. Black males who did not vote for Donald Trump stayed home. And so these big centers that they count on to swarm rural areas in Detroit, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Atlanta, were not there in sufficient numbers. They said there was a female gap and that Donald Trump was a sexist and he had alienated women. He got, in many states, he got more suburban white women than did Harris.
In the recent election, key demographics, like suburban white women, Hispanic, and black voters, shifted, many aligning with Republicans over economic and cultural issues. Republicans also strengthened rural and working-class support. Both parties ramped up election security to address voter fraud fears, with Republicans focusing on early registration, mail-in voting, and ballot tracking to secure votes. This approach not only highlighted demographic shifts, but underscored a bipartisan focus on fair voting practices.
The Hispanic vote, and we talked about that. I had never seen and I live in a Mexican-American community, overwhelmingly so, but I had not talked to a Mexican-American over the age of 40, male, who was going to vote for Kamala Harris. And that had not been true in 2016. They even had the Amish going out. They worked the Arab American Muslim vote. They split the Jewish vote, which usually is 70-30. All of that was known to the pollsters and to the media, and yet they kept telling us that Donald Trump was dumbfounded by Saturday Night Live, that Donald Trump had threatened to kill Liz Cheney, that Donald Trump wanted to kill the media, and they didn't. Everybody got sick of them. They didn't like to be lectured to, and they knew what was going to happen. Everybody that I knew from the middle classes thought Donald Trump was going to win, and I could feel it.
Yeah, look what happened. Is this crazy?
Donald Trump will become the 47th President of the United States.
Thanks for watching. What's one issue you think should be a top priority in the next election? Let us know in the comments. See you on the next one.